Good evening. Welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Rungtip Chonapalai. Today is the full moon of the third lunar month, making it Makhabucha Day, a public holiday for many Buddhist majority countries, including Thailand, allowing Buddhists to commemorate Lord Buddha's teaching of the Ovattapatimokkha. Around 2,600 years ago today, Lord Buddha gave an important teaching to a group of monks who assembled on the full moon of the third lunar month. His Holiness preached the Ovattapatimokkha, which laid down the principles of Buddhist teachings. Buddhists across the country started their morning by offering food to monks. Then they will try to observe the 5 basic precepts of Buddhism for the entire day. Later in the evening is Vien Tien. It involves circling around the main chapel of temples 3 times with flowers and incense in your hands. One interesting fact is that the price of lotus flowers in many provinces is much higher than the previous years, with vendors claiming the floods have damaged their lotus farms. As the minority Buddhists in the restive Muslim-dominated Deep South, Vien Tien is held earlier in the day to make it easier for soldiers to uphold security. After night falls, almost every temple in this country will organize the Vien Tien event, followed by sermons and chanting led by senior monks. A recent poll found that Thai teenagers remember when Valentine's Day is more than Makhabucha Day, since the Buddhist holiday is based on the lunar calendar. However, Thai teens participate in Makhabucha activities more than Valentine's activities. A Suwandusit poll asked around 1,300 teenagers around Bangkok to compare Valentine's Day and Makhabucha. The poll found out that almost half could remember the date of Valentine's Day more accurately than Makhabucha, since Valentine's is on a fixed date, February 14th, while Makhabucha is on the full moon of the third lunar month, therefore falling on different days each year. The other half survey remembered the dates of birthdays accurately. However, 45% more accurately know the origin of Makhabucha than Valentine's Day. Suwandusit revealed that about 47% give more importance to Makhabucha than Valentine's Day, while 41% participate in Buddhist activities, offering alms, making merry, and in evening walking around temples with candles and incense. 31.6% have more participation with Valentine's Day activities, such as offering gifts to loved ones. One of the most popular ways in which Buddhists in Thailand practice making merry is by releasing birds from captivity. However, authorities are asking people to stop this devil-in-disguise activity, as buying captured birds is indirectly supporting animal torture. Meanwhile, one vendor was arrested for selling endangered birds today. The Natural Resources and Environmental Crime Suppression Division have arrested a group of bird vendors near the Sukhumvit area. The 4 people, all of whom are from Saraburi province, were caught transferring around 5,000 chestnut munia birds, which is an endangered species in Thailand. Without knowing it, the 4 became smugglers of endangered birds, and they could be imprisoned for up to 4 years and fined 40,000 baht. The vendors claim they priced the birds at 35 baht each. Hoping to make a quick fortune on this Buddhist holiday, Police Colonel Thewan Mangkala-Chatikul, Director of the Natural Resources and Environmental Crime Suppression Division, says buying caged birds for release is, without knowing, supporting the torture of birds, and in some cases like this one, supporting wild animal trafficking. Prime Minister Eng.News gave a speech to restore confidence among leading Japanese businesses and financial institutions during the second day of her formal visit to Japan. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Japan Chamber of Commerce and Industry asked the Thai government to speed up water management projects. During her keynote speech at the Business and Investment Seminar held at the Imperial Hotel, Prime Minister Eng.News stressed progress in water management plans and flood prevention for industrial areas, and asked Japanese investors to have confidence and continue expanding businesses in Thailand. The PM said that this year marks the 125th year of diplomatic relations between Japan and Thailand, And for trade relations, Thailand continues to be a strong investment base and business partner connecting Japan to the rest of ASEAN. Meanwhile, Nobu Yamaguchi, chairman of the Japan Chamber of Commerce and Industry or JCCI, met with the Prime Minister Yingluck and pointed out that Japanese investors will remain in Thailand. The business sector in Japan is asking the Thai government to speed up the recovery plan and proceed with the water management and infrastructure plans. The JCCI is pleased that Thailand has set up the Disaster Insurance Fund and continues to encourage small and medium-sized businesses in Japan to invest in Thailand. During this formal visit to Japan, ending on March 9th, aiming at restoring the confidence of Japanese investors and strengthening ties with Japan, the Prime Minister is scheduled to visit tsunami victims in Sendai in Miyagi Prefecture and meet with the PM Yoshihiko Noda. This is the last 7 days for those who plan to visit a Royal Flora Ratchaphuk event in Chiang Mai. And despite the haze situation up north, people are still flooding to the event. To date, 8 northern provinces are suffering smoggy conditions in which the quantity of airborne dust particles exceeds safety standards. Chiang Rai, Lampang, Lamphun, Phrae, Nan, Phayao, Mae Hong Son and Chiang Mai provinces have areas where the haze situation is still critical. Health officials are teaching locals to make improvised face masks as the face masks sold in pharmacies are out of stock. Meanwhile, people sick with heart disease, respiratory diseases, eye disease and skin infections are to be treated as priority cases by medical staff. Despite authorities taking burning of garbage extremely seriously, locals are reporting smoke from forest fires in neighboring countries is still drifting into Thai skies. Navigation along the Mekong River is also a problem because of the haze causing poor visibility. However, the Tourism Authority of Thailand in Chiang Mai office claims the number of inbound tourists to the province is pretty much the same as normal despite the smog. Flights and hotel rooms are not being cancelled and people continue to flood to the Royal Flora Ratchaphuk, which will come to close on March 14th after the horticultural event closes down next week. However, the TAT is afraid tourism in the north will be negatively affected due to the haze. The oil exploration drilling by a British energy firm in Bangkok will definitely start tomorrow. The Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment confirms this project entirely legitimate and no reconsideration is required. Despite the locals' outcry about the project, Songpop Ponjan, Director General of the Department of Mineral Fuels or DMF, says that tomorrow Mitra Energy Company will definitely begin exploratory drilling in Bangkok's Thaipabbas district along the Puttamonthon 2 road. This phase of the project is expected to complete within 3 weeks. If a large amount of oil cannot be found, then the exploration activities will be halted, and the Department of Mineral Fuels will not be reissue a concession for oil exploration drilling in this area. According to discussions with Parliament's Natural Resources Committee and the Thaipabbas community's representatives yesterday, the DMF will continue to create a better understanding among the locals. Meanwhile, Chota Chru, Permanent Secretary of the Natural Resources and Environment Ministry, says he will not reconsider the environmental impact of this drilling, reiterating that this project is entirely legitimate. The Permanent Secretary told the press that the Environmental Impact Assessment or EIA does not require the majority's green light. However, during the drilling process, the authority still has to monitor the activity closely. If any action falls outside the legitimate requirements of the concessions or causes pollution, the authority will halt the drilling activity immediately. People living in the surrounding community are taking a stand against the exploration, asking why the state has not conducted a public referendum on the issue. Now to Myanmar, where Suu Kyi continues her political campaign tour, and hundreds of people have been flooding the streets to catch a glimpse of the democracy icon and hear her talking about freedom for the country. Such scenes seem almost commonplace now, quite different from only a year ago. Here's more.
Crowds of supporters gather around Aung San Suu Kyi's vehicle to give her flowers and shout pro-democracy slogans that until recently were banned in Myanmar. In little more than a year since she was released from house arrest, the 66-year-old pro-democracy leader has made the once unthinkable leap into the mainstream from political prisoner to political campaigner. Her once banished image is now so commonplace it appears on t-shirts, billboards, keychains and even coffee mugs. Now she's trying to take another big step from icon to elected official, with the goal of guiding her long-repressed country through political and social reforms. For many people who put their dreams on hold during the decades of military rule, Suu Kyi is seen as a savior and the solution to the country's problems.
I started to sell her image just 1 month ago. I am very happy because her photo is a bestseller. I'm so thankful to her because I'm making more money and that helps my family as well.
Even if she is elected in the next parliamentary elections on April the 1st, she will still be in opposition. Suu Kyi is spearheading a challenge by her National League for Democracy, or NLD, to win seats in the country's parliament in the 48 by-elections. The NLD overwhelmingly won the 1990 general election, but the military did not allow it to take power. As the dignified, determined Nobel Peace Laureate travels the country campaigning for a seat in parliament, there is a sense of euphoria in Myanmar. The pace of change has been frenetic since a nominally civilian government took office a year ago. The streets are buzzing with new energy, optimism, and decidedly less fear, propelled in large part by Suu Kyi's return to the public spotlight.
The Ministry of Tourism and Sports looks set to launch its bid for a F1 or Formula One race slot, where Ratchdamnern Road will be the race venue. This is the ministry's attempt to boost tourism and enhance the country's reputation, where success is attracting. F1 has brought with it hundreds of thousands of foreign tourists, as seen in many other host countries. Chumpon Silapa Acha, Ministry of Tourism and Sports, invited both state and private agencies to discuss Thailand's bid to host F1 or Formula One racing. An agreement was reached at the meeting to launch the bid, and a proposal will be forwarded to the license owner of F1 worldwide. Thailand is bidding to host the race of champions, attracting world-renowned racers like Sebastian Vettel and Michael Schumacher. The surface of the Ratchdamnern Avenue will be altered to support the race, just like those at the Monaco and Singapore Grand Prix. However, a purpose-built circuit will not be constructed in Chonburi as planned because it is too costly. Thailand has hosted numerous F1 promotional events, including that of Lotus, Renault and Red Bull last year. The Red Bull event attracted hundreds of thousands of spectators. The ministry is confident that Thailand will be licensed and become a part of F1 circuit by 2014. And that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. Thank you for watching. I'm Ring Tip Chonapalai. Sawadee ka.